guys, welcome to another episode of Behind the Glory series. If you're coming here for the very first time, welcome to my channel. This is the Grow More channel where we talk everything personal development and we help you to become more and, of course, to do more. If you haven't subscribed to this channel as a new person, please do well to subscribe. It's one channel you'll be glad you are a part of. My name is Magdalene Ologun, and I bring to you interesting conversations, stories, and insights that can help you understand life from a very good perspective and help you to become a better person. In this series, Behind the Glory, we're bringing people to share their stories. Believe that for every glory, there is a story. And it's important for us to understand the glory while we celebrate the story. In our episode today, we have an amazing guest who is joining us, Mr. Daniel Akinleye. Mr. Daniel is a Lagos State Youth Ambassador and is someone who also graduated top of his faculty while he was in school. His story is quite fascinating and interesting. Like every of my guests, they have fascinating stories. Of course, that is why I bring him to the show. I'm going to let him talk about himself a little more and let us understand how he got to where he is today, the story behind his glory. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as I welcome Daniel Akinleye to the call. Welcome. All right, the floor is yours, Daniel.
All right, thank you so much, Magdalene. Good morning, and thank you for having me. I say good morning to your beautiful viewers also.
Thank you.
My name is Dio Akinleye, like you have said, Daniel Oluwapelumi Akinleye, for those wondering what it stands for. I'm a Lagos State Youth Ambassador. I'm a leadership coach. I'm a motivational speaker, and I'm a communication enthusiast. Every of these offices or every of this portfolio stems from the fact that I had a wrong educational background, in the sense that I was a dollar. Let me use the word dollar because I know that's the word many will resonate with. So I'm an SDG4 advocate, likewise, for quality education, and everything boils down to the fact that I started my academic life as a dollar. So after we changed or we relocated, my family relocated, I had to repeat a class because of how dull. I was finding it very difficult to remember things. I spoiled my best shoe, because my Christmas shoe then, because I did not know who I gave my 20 naira to. I had to just repeat the class. And not that I repeated the class and ended up becoming the best student in the class. No, I repeated the class and was still a dullard. But gradually, I started becoming better, having rediscovered myself. So I said that would be, one thing I learned about being a dullard or being dull or being poor academically is that no one wants to relate with you. No one is your friend. No one wants to listen to you. No one wants to roll with you. I mean, nobody wants to even sit beside you. That's how bad primary school could be then. No one wants to sit beside you, don't know anything. And I had to build on that fact that, okay, this will not be where we end. I won't continue my life this way. And I built a life of competition academically. Anywhere I find myself, competition is always my focus. Competition. So I always I view every academic stage of my life as though I want to be the best student in this class. I was once the dullard in this class. I had a very wrong position in this class. So I want to becoming the best student. And so I started like that. While I was in secondary school, I became the head boy. I knew I was catching up. I knew I was ready, getting ready for leadership responsibilities. I went to a polytechnic, so I did ND, national diploma, and higher national diploma. My national diploma, I served as a personal assistant to a president. I was so devoted, and I never for once attained distinction. And I read to a point where if someone had told me, Oga, you read, me say, I will tell the person I understand the fact that I have read, but I still did not attain distinction. And I mean, the only reason to prove to someone that you are doing well or you have done well is your result. Nobody wants to listen to the story of a failed man. Nobody wants to listen to the story of a man who gave up. So irrespective of the circumstance, situation, problems that one might go through, or what everyone wants to listen to is what did you end up doing, or what is the end goal, what is the end
Mm.
result. So
So,
nobody is concerned about the process of how your story led to a glory. Everybody just wants to hear if that story indeed led to a glory. So if the story is rough, if the story is not interesting, except it leads to a glory. I've seen few of your videos recently, and I was listening to some persons, and I understood the fact that everybody has a story to tell. But the beauty of that story is if it leads to something somebody can pick from. So what was I saying? I
yeah,
was a dollar. I ended up becoming a faculty president while I was in my higher national diploma too.
yeah,
I mean, I was the president of a faculty. I was the chairman of a faculty president. I was the president of a club. I was the president of a fellowship. I was the chief of trainings and operations of the college. So I had more than 6, 7 positions. But the funniest
mm,
thing is I still attained distinction. So the distinction I did
wow,
not attain while I was in ND, I attained in HND despite the position. So I already became a leader. In what sense? I had positions and I was still leading academically. So
mm,
I from from being a dullard, from being someone nobody wants to relate with while in primary school, I became someone everybody wants to relate with
yeah,
in my institution. So I ensured that my grade was something worthwhile, because I mean nobody want to believe that this was how I started, except I can convince them with my results.
mm,
So from there, I'm a Lagos State ambassador. I will be handing over my portfolio soon. However, it did not stop me from being an ambassador. So, being a
yeah,
Lagos State ambassador, I've used that portfolio to speak to above 2,500 students. I've been to more than
mm,
11 schools in the last 3 weeks to speaking to
mm,
students on. So, um, no matter how beautiful the story of a failed man can be, no matter how compiled the story can be, or no matter how long the pages of the note might be, if a failed man do not achieve success at the end of the day, nobody wants to listen to his story. Nobody wants to know why he failed. Nobody. So losing my father while I was in school is still not a reason for me to fail, because I know the fact that he will not be happy wherever he is if he found out that I later failed because he passed on. So he passed on should be a stepping stone for me to achieving more greatness. That if he was alive, the same greatness I would have loved him to witness is the same greatness I must achieve even while he's not alive. So I had various, I mean, financial constraints. I've been sponsoring myself academically for years with the help of many persons. I've done different kinds of jobs. I've carried what they call pọnpọn, what Yoruba call pọnpọn. I've done sand filling for an apartment before. Yes, I've done sand filling. I've worked in various organizations, various companies that at the end of the day I didn't collect the salary because I couldn't wait till the end due to how demanding some of those things were, and due to the fact of the things I got myself involved while in school in order to achieving success. All about leadership, leadership, leadership. So what is the essence of my story today? The essence of my story today is I never allowed the circumstance and the situation of my past predict my future. I didn't allow it shape my future. Rather, I allowed it be a stepping stone to achieving greatness. I allowed it being a focus towards achieving greatness. From someone that was a dullard, from someone that repeated class, I now became someone that was celebrated by a whole faculty in school. I mean, that is massive. That is
yeah,
massive. If
yeah.
I'm not being celebrated, I celebrate myself enough. So
Absolutely. I celebrate
one
you
thing I
too.
just Thank you so much, Magdalene. So one thing I just learned basically is that nobody is ready to buy the idea of someone who has failed. No one wants to listen to someone who has failed, and that is why I chose it upon myself that failure will never be a reason for me. Failure will never be an excuse for me. Failure will never be a friend of mine. Why? Because nobody, I mean, if I had failed, you wouldn't have messaged me, or you wouldn't have reached out to me. Someone wouldn't have recommended my. It's just to understanding the fact that no matter what anybody is going through now, you can only prove people wrong by changing it to becoming a success story. No
Mm,
matter what. So someone, a child is saying maybe the father is not taking care of him very well, mother is not taking care of him very well, or the husband has one reason, the wife had one reason. Nobody wants to. I mean, I went to a particular school and I told them, I said, everybody you see stammering today started from somewhere, started from copying someone. Then I told them, I said, every student that is in this class, if you continue being a dullard, or if you continue being a failure, then I'm telling you that the same name your parent had been calling you before that you do not like, the only reason you can change those names, those nicknames, the only reason you can use to change it is your results. I mean, results speaks faster than the words of the mouth. Results
mm,
speaks better. If you see someone that people are always calling dollar achieve great result, I tell you that those persons that call him or her dollar will end up celebrating him or her. So results
mm,
speaks better. So instead of wasting effort on shouting, complaining, telling people you don't like this name, you don't like that name, you don't like them being you don't like the way they are calling you such a name, the best you can do for yourself is to change the perception, is to change the view, is to change the opinion with your results. Your result is what everybody wants to listen to. Your result is what everybody loves. Your result is what everybody is concerned about. The process, they are not concerned. It is later you can now tell them about the process. They are only concerned about the end result. So let your focus be on the end result. Let your focus be on what you want to achieve at the end of the day. Stop trying to
yeah,
prove to people what you have not yet given them a result to show forth for. Nobody will listen to you.
amazing.
Nobody will buy your opinion. Nobody will buy your
True.
idea. Nobody. Your grammar is not sweet. Your English language is not well constructed. Why? Because there is no result to show forth for it. So you are tired of a particular status quo. You want to change the view. You want to change the opinion about what you as. Then your result should be what you will use to change them. Your result is
Thank you.
what matters. This,
Yeah.
I hope this point of mine will enable
Thank you so
convince
much,
another one.
Daniel. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Magdalene.
I think I like a lot of the things you have said, and one thing I want to pick out is when you said um, people would not buy your failure story except they have seen your success. You know, I was speaking with my sister some days ago, and we're just talking and talk left to talk, and we said something where like the best form of revenge ever is success. You know, people who had looked down on you, people who had talked you down, the best way to revenge is to succeed, you know, and that is what you have done from your story. So I want us to break your story a little bit so that people can understand how you moved from being a dollar to becoming someone who you are today. I know you had mentioned that one strategy that you came up with was becoming competitive. All right. Um, and then you got into HND. So let me start from your ND. When you were doing your ND, you didn't come out with distinction, but there was that desire that you came out with distinction, which meant that you went into HND with a higher drive to come out with distinction. Why did you still pick up all of these leadership positions despite your goal of wanting to come out with distinction? Did you not think they could have been distractions for you? Or while you were in ND, you built capacity to the point where you think you could manage all of those and still become um, a distinction graduate? You know, so tell us, what did you do differently? how did you build capacity enough to be able to manage all of those things and still achieve your goal?
All right, so thank you, Magdalene. The most important thing is having God. I'm someone that so much love God dearly. So the most important thing, how I could achieve every of those things, is with the help of God. And also,
Okay.
uh, I don't like simple stories, because I mean everybody can do something simple.
Mhm.
When we have 500 persons telling the same story, the story lose regard. So I have discovered over time that people complain of distraction. While I was
Yeah.
in India, I was distracted. I had things that I got myself engaged into on leadership that got me distracted. However, I found a better way of managing it in HND. I found a
Okay.
better way. I mean, the positions I occupied in HND, they were more than five, six, and they were not little positions. They were all heads, second, third in command of that particular body. And you
Yeah.
automatically know that you have people. So because I am someone that was born a leader, someone that was born a leader, I want to encourage others to better. I want to let people know that yes, you can have a drive, you can have a push for something, and still stay focused irrespective of what you get yourself involved with. As long as whatsoever you get yourself involved with aligns with the vision. Now remember, the vision was to achieve distinction. The vision was to
Yeah.
achieve one of the best students in the college. And I tell you that being in those positions shaped those visions. Let me pick out some for you. Being a
Okay.
president, you have hundred thousands of students below you. It's not only by speaking grammar, telling them this, telling them that they will listen to you. Your result need to show forth for it. So you cannot afford to fail because those people are watching you. So that position helped me to remembering the fact that there are people at my back looking at me. There are people at my back watching me. So, and other few positions like that, I knew that there were people behind me that were watching me. I knew that there were people behind me that were hoping that, oh, I want to be like this person. So, occupying many of those positions helped me to becoming someone shaped, helped me to becoming someone focused on the goal. And the goal aligns with every one of them. Every one of them has an important duty or important role to play in every my activity in school. Morning, afternoon. I mean, I have an engagement from Monday to Friday, and I need to come back home on Saturday and Sunday for church activities. So Monday to Friday, I have something doing in the morning. I have something doing in the afternoon. If I say it did not affect me academically in some way, it does. It does. I mean, I started my GP with 3.90. I did not end up with 3.90, but I was still on distinction. But I can tell you categorically well that yes, it affected me, but my goal and drive was what kept me going. The help of God was what kept me going. Those people behind me were part of those that kept me going, because they are only respecting you because you are ahead of them. If you
Yeah.
drop, if you come down, I don't want to prove anybody right. Any if you drop down, the disrespect will just come up from anywhere. So I understood those facts, and being ahead of them academically is another thing that I know that we always bet automatic respect.
All
And
right.
those were
That's quite
those are the
interesting.
things that drive me. Yeah.
Okay. That's quite interesting. What I hear you say is that you turned that being in so many positions to become a drive for you to succeed, because you think that given that you have so many people behind you, you have no excuse to fail. All right. Now, were there, if you are given the opportunity again, given your experience from having to manage all of those things together with your academics, would you still want to have all of those positions? This is where I'm going. Now, were there things that you wish you did not get involved in to be able to achieve the results you wanted to achieve? Somebody who is saying, I've listened to Daniel and I want to push myself to also become, great academically. would you advise that the method you used to push yourself is a method they can adopt? Would you advise anybody to do the same thing you did?
Well, I would advise that they get too much involved in many things, because I
Mm,
mean the distraction is massive. I
okay.
tell you, the distraction is massive. If I had opportunities not to engage in some few things, I would not have engaged. Because remember
Okay.
everything, yes, it's voluntary. Many people will see that this one, he will get this, he will get that. But no, it's different from the way. It's very attractive from
Outside.
the outward view, but inside is quite deeper, quite the commitment is massive compared to the way people are seeing it from the outward view. So if I had opportunity not to join some things while I was in school, I wouldn't. However, if you are already in few of them and you feel it's not too late for you to drop some, is the goal that matters.
Yeah.
What is driving you? You know, there's a difference between a man that has a dream and a man that has a passion.
Yeah.
A man that has a dream will have a passion that will drive him. A
Yeah.
man that has a passion will just continue doing the passion without a dream or a focus.
Mm,
So because you have a dream, a passion will steer you up to push that dream towards achievement. But because you just have a passion, the passion will just keep driving you, driving you, driving you. It can even drive you inside the gutter. That's what passion alone can do. But a dream with passion will drive you better. So for
mm,
someone that end this story and okay, you want to get better academically, have a dream. Have a dream. And that dream must resonate very well with you. That dream must resonate very well with you. Don't dream to becoming someone exactly. Dream to becoming a
yeah.
better version of yourself that other persons can be willing to be like you. Many of the big names out there that you are aspiring to be like, they all dreamt of becoming a better version of themselves. I mean, you cannot be a better Dangote. You cannot be a better Dangote. Dangote remains Dangote. You can only be a better you. So the best you do is to becoming a better version of yourself that other persons can say, "Oh, I wish to be like you likewise." So if I had the opportunity not to be in some things, I wouldn't. Why? Because it will make me focus more. However, if I had not been in some of those things, I might have not been more focused. Because I can tell you,
Mm,
okay, for example, being a president of a faculty, I can't do examination malpractice in the exam now.
yeah.
Let's assume I don't know a particular course. Ha, who do I want to go and explain to? I must still do well. So you understand that that particular position helped me to understanding the fact that you have too many things at stake. You have too many risks to take. You cannot afford to. You cannot afford to look at the back and ask Funsho or Folusho to tell you question 4 or question 5. If one lecturer catch you, the first thing they will say is president. They won't even call you your name.
Mm,
Understanding that fact, you know that you have to go to the exam all prepared. Understanding that fact, you know that you have to be at your best behavior outside and inside the school, because your position alone do not end within the four corners of the school. It also goes beyond the
absolutely.
school.
Mm,
So many of these positions shaped me to understanding the fact that I have to be careful. So those positions are also there to shape you to becoming better. However, the main focus is if you have a dream, it is that dream that
premium.
drives you.
Wow, amazing. Thank you, Daniel. You know, one thing I want to pick from this is the fact that if you want to get out of a state that you currently are to where you want to be, you need to tie something that will become a motivating factor. You know, when you talked about being a president of the faculty and cannot be caught cheating, that's you tying your goal to a particular factor. And for anyone who is listening to us today, it may not necessarily be a position, a leadership position. It could be to tie it to anything else. For instance, I recall when I was in school, I used to say I'm a Christian, and it is a taboo for my name to be associated with some kind of grades. That was a motivating factor for me. You know, then they would post our results on a board, and I would say, when people go to that board, Where do I want them to see my name? Somehow that consciousness drives me when I read. So that was not a leadership position, but I had to tie my goal to something. So if you're listening to this program today, I want you to understand that even beyond your academics, anything in life, if you're trying to achieve something, find something you can tie it to. It could be when my name is called, what do I want to be remembered for? When somebody sees my picture, how do I want them to perceive me? Anything can be a motivation for you, but find your motivation, which is the reason why motivational speakers will always say, know your why. You're all right. All right. So we're wrapping up the session, but I have a few things I want us to pick out from the conversation. It's been an interesting one. And I want you to talk to people who are currently in that dullard state. Interestingly, I have someone close to me who, when she was in primary school, she would usually come. Her result used to be like second to the last. So when you're like, why do you have this kind of results? Guess her response. At least I'm more than so person now. She's referring to the person that came last. That was how bad she was in primary school. And when she got to secondary school, she picked up. She picked up to the point where she became one of the best till she graduated from secondary school, became one of the best till she graduated from the university. So I do not believe that somebody is struggling academically today means that they would always end up struggling if they decide to want to change their story. So Daniel, I wanted to share a few tips for somebody who is currently struggling in academics, because our conversations seem to be centered around academics, and it could just be for somebody out there who is really struggling academically. So can you share some practical tips that can help someone change their story from being a dullard to becoming exceptional, just like you did?
All right, Magdalene, someone struggling currently, hear me and hear me very well. You were not born dull.
Yeah.
Nobody born dull. Even the Bible says that everything God made was good. Was good. So you were not born dull. You have only shaped yourself to becoming that thing that you feel you are currently. And as soon as you are ready to change the status quo of that name that you are being tagged with now, then I trust you that you can do better than the way you feel you can now. So if you are currently struggling, you are finding difficulty in bringing or unleashing the best in you, what should you do? What should you do? Be tired of convenience. Be tired of convenience. And what do I mean by convenience? Convenience in the place of reading. You want to read, you see that you are feeling dizzy. Convenience will make you go and sleep.
Yeah.
Success, most times, is tied with many inconvenience. Why? Because even the devil don't want you to be successful. So the best you can do is, as soon as you have and draft a timetable for reading, a timetable that is convenient for you. Know your reading, know your brain. For example, someone that love reading the silent hour of the night. I don't know how to read during noise, but I have persons that when there's noise, they can read anything. So during those particular time like that, then understand the fact that, oh, this is my perfect timing for reading. This is me during this time. So if I am struggling with brilliancy now, the day I decide to change that status quo of being dull, I tell you, is that same day you look at the story you said. It could be something that lady heard or someone that spoke to that lady that made her unleash the better inside of her. So I can tell you that
Yeah.
that thing is inside of you. You were the one that kept it. Nobody kept it for you. You were the one that kept it. You were the one that made yourself feel as though you were dull. No. As soon as you change the status quo, to all those that are listening to me now, as soon as you are ready to change the status quo, then I tell you that the status quo will align with you. The status quo will
Yeah.
align with your vision. It will align with you. Until you are ready to change it, it wouldn't align.
Mm.
until you are ready to change it. And you have to have principles. Be strict with your principles. When you want to read, let it be your reading time. Read. If you are feeling dizzy, oga, read. Don't try to be like your friend.
Mm.
To look and read with 500 documents. Leave 500 documents alone. If it's one note you know how to read with that one note. Remember,
Mm.
it is the result that matters.
Absolutely.
The result will tell. Maybe it was Tolu that prepared well, or you were the one that prepared well. Oh, if you know how to read with PDF, read with PDF. Suppose you don't know how to read with PDF, print out the PDF, turn it to notebook. Be primary school, you are in secondary school, because a father could hear this and play it while the children are also listening. Understand the fact that that greatness lies within you. It is
Yeah.
inside of you. It is inside of you. And until you are ready, you are the one to unleash it for yourself. If you are waiting for somebody to come and motivate you, you are waiting for somebody to come and advise you, then you are wasting time. As there is no
Yeah.
time to check time. In a relay race, you won't see a racer checking his wristwatch to be sure whether it's below time or above time. He is only concerned about the results.
Yeah.
So let your result be focused towards positivity. Let your result be focused towards greatness. Let your result be focused towards achieving good results. As soon as you are focused on greatness, goodness, then every part of you begins to align with that. See, the day you are tired of being called a poor man is the day business ideas start coming to your head. Is the day you start seeing reasons to save. Is the day you start seeing reasons to know how to spend money well. But the day you don't want to get rich is the day you start seeing that all the money in your account, you want to throw it outside. You want to go and burn your phone. That's because you don't want to be rich. So you understand everything still has to do with your mind. You are the one shaping it yourself. You are the one that have made yourself dull. You are the one that have made yourself low. You are the one that have made yourself reduce. And until you are ready to change it, it wouldn't change.
Mm.
That's it, Magdalene.
Interesting. Thank you so much, Daniel. I think the key word from what you have said is being ready. The day you are ready to change your story will change. Just like the lepers in the Bible, the day they got tired of hunger, they stood up and they changed their story. All right. Thank you very much once again, Daniel, for taking our time to be a part of this episode, for sharing your story, for inspiring our viewers, and for everyone who has been watching till now. I want to say thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, do it to subscribe. We have more inspiring stories that are coming that would help you and will change and shaping your perspective. Once again, everyone, thank you for your time. Thank you, Daniel, for your time. I don't take for granted this time that you have decided to share with us and to spend with us. Till I see you in the next episode, do take care, everyone. Bye.